Welcome back to Squelch. I'm Dano.
I'm Matt at Arms.
And I'm Storm Rage, recording on location in Novaria as we talk about Mass Effect, because Mass Effect is a game, and games are supposed to be fun.
Yeah, I think it has been pretty fun. What are you guys thinking? I mean, you know what? We're going to talk about this a lot this week, so we don't have to talk about it right now. This is going to be a whole lot about Mass Effect 1. So we're finishing up Mass Effect 1 today. Storm Rage asked before we started recording, hey, is this going to be a 1-hour podcast or a 2-hour podcast? And I said, that's a great question. So we didn't record last week because it's Christmas, and we're keeping the grand tradition of me thinking that I'm going to have time to record during Christmas, and then canceling the 5 hours before we're going to record, because no, that's just not possible. So we are finishing up Mass Effect 1 today. Sorry about the unexpected break last week. But we're going to have probably a little bit longer episode this week to make up for it. So buckle in, buckle up. We're going to, it's going to be a fun one, I think. Should we thank some patrons first, though?
Thanks.
If we must.
I am pretty incredible.
I think we should. I think we probably should thank some patrons. Hey, patrons, thank you so much for continuing to patronize us. There's not going to be an After Dark this week because I think this is going to be a long episode. And it gets a little bit tiresome to kind of go that long. So no After Dark this week, but we are going to have some fun stuff planned for this next year for our patrons. So keep an eye on that kind of stuff. Don't want to announce anything too soon, but I think it'll be pretty fun. I'm looking forward to it. I think both of these guys are looking forward to it. So yeah, it should be pretty fun. And then that's not at all weird or cryptic.
I would like to note that you made mention of, like, we're going to go 2 hours and that's going to be pretty exhausting for us. And I was like, yeah, that's exhausting. And I was like, but trying to explain that to another person, like trying to explain that to anybody who has like any sort of manual labor job of being like, oh yeah, I get so exhausted after podcasting. And I cannot imagine the level of eye rolls that we get. But at the same time, if you were to tell me what more exhausts you, doing 2 hours of a podcast or playing basketball for 2.5 hours, it's this. When I'm done podcasting, I am just in such a must nap mood 100% of the time.
Think we're in different kinds of shape. Because 2.5 hours of basketball for me is a trip to the ER. So
I would actually be dead. I would be dying on the way to the hospital about an hour in. That's where I'd be at. Yeah.
That being said, I had a manual labor job. It's not great.
No,
but thank you to everyone who has one still.
Seriously.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a different kind of tiring. You know. Especially for a hobby, I feel like when you're just doing a hobby on a Sunday evening, I think it's okay to be tired after doing a little bit of podcasting. So, should we hop right into? Oh, my mouse got all weird. Hop into tea with Finley this week here, Matt.
Sure, let's do it.
Okay.
Hello, old friend. Let's meet for tea after the match, shall we?
Slurp, slurp, slurp,
slurp,
is what Daniel would say.
Slurp, herp, slurp. Sorry, I have technical difficulties over here. I'll be back soon.
I think we could have got away with that, no problem here.
We would have covered for you.
So, hey, it's the end of the year, and I don't know if this is a new thing or an old thing, but there's apparently a Steam year in review, and so we're just going to talk about that now, because I think it sounds like fun. So I want to talk about what video games I played this year, what video games you all played this year. And so we're just going to hop right into it. Matt, why don't you get us started, Matt, with just what were some of the top games that you played this year?
So mine, my top games this year were Age of History 2, Ages of Conflict, Age of History 3, Hearts of Iron 4, and Hades 2.
How many of those were games you played, Matt?
Hades 2 is the only one that I've actually played. I share my Steam account with my son. My son is very much into games that involve maps. To be fair, he plays a lot. So he plays a bunch of map games. He loves games with maps. So yeah, so this year, and guess what? He got a new Steam account today. And props to Steam. Family sharing is incredibly easy to do.
That's awesome. I'm not gonna lie, it is funny every time it took me quite a while before I was like, is Matt the one playing Age of History? What is this game that Matt is always playing but never talks about?
Yeah. Yeah. So my son was on my Steam. Like I said, he's a map gamer. This is what he played. So my Steam is very skewed toward map games.
Hey, to be fair, like that was me when I was his age as well. Like they're just very fun. Like give me like a good old like Romance of the Three Kingdoms 3, like just really into it. Like so much fun. Those are just really, really fun games.
Yeah, it's basically Civ but real world maps and like really simplified, and it works. And I tried playing, I can't figure it out. I'm not smart enough. So yeah, props to him for playing games he likes. And trust me, it makes it easy to figure out what to look to get for him, because if it's a map, he'll enjoy it. So
yeah.
Have you considered getting him Heroes of Might and Magic 3, which is my ultimate favorite map game?
No, I should look into that.
It's an older game, and the graphics are not great, but the mechanics of it are really solid.
Was there a remastered of that game recently, or one of the Heroes of Might and Magic recently?
I think so.
I think there might have been.
Yes-ish. There was a Heroes of Might and Magic HD remake, which is not great, and that was about 10 years ago or so, maybe a little bit before that. Then there was a board game that came out, and the board game just released like 2 years ago. And I think the series itself is also getting a reboot in some way, shape, or form. Like there's been a lot of like small things here or there.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being Age of Empires 2, and 1 being any of the Warcraft remasters, where would you rate the Heroes of Might and Magic remake?
I would say the remake probably lands with about Warcraft 3 Reforged.
Okay.
Maybe a little bit worse.
Okay.
Like it does not do anything that is when I play the original, because it has the expansions, it's just better. And the remake doesn't really add that much better, higher graphical details, so why bother?
Improved little and broke some things. Great, good to know. Okay.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah.
All right, for me, my Steam replay, my 3 big games this year were Persona 3 Reload, State of Decay 1, the first one, and then Last Epoch. Persona 3 Reload, I looked at that recently, and I got that game in July, and since July, it has been a minimum of 25% of the gaming that I have played. I've played a lot of Persona 3 Reload this year.
What percentage? What percentage of overall gaming?
26% it says overcross for the whole year, but since July when I bought it, it's been no less than 25%, and oftentimes much more than that. Yeah.
All right.
Yep. Yeah. But then State of Decay and Last Epoch, I haven't played either of those. So State of Decay, I had to stop playing because it was spooking Dean out. But I love that game. That's a zombie base building game. So much fun. Oh my gosh. Love that game. And then Last Epoch is an ARPG, but it's really has not great controller support. And I'm an old man, as my Steam replay said here, where it's like, you played with controller 84% of the time. And I'm like, yeah, I got bad wrists. Thanks, Diablo 3.
That's crazy to me. 84% of the time you're playing with a controller?
Wow.
I don't
so much better.
I don't play without a controller basically for any like real game. I think the 16% might have been Life is Strange might be the 16%, to be honest. I think everything else was basically controller. Even Last Epoch was controller, even though it's not very good with controller. It's like got like the halvesies control. It's like, you can do this if you really want to, old man, but we don't think you should. I'm like, watch me. What have you played so far this year, Storm Rage? Or I guess this year, Storm Rage.
So my main games outside of the games that we have played for the podcast are counting up Esports Godfather, which is a terrible game that we talked about. It's a management style game that I'm sure works much better in Chinese. But in English, it's a real weak game. Then a little bit of Baldur's Gate 3. The online version of Dune Imperium, which is a board game. It's probably my favorite board game. I didn't realize I'd played this much. I've played 50 hours of that game this year, and I was like, oh,
That's good.
oh, that's
That's incredible.
40 more than I would have expected on this game. All right. And then clocking in at 37% of all of my gaming on the year, according to Steam, Helldivers 2.
That's
I
amazing.
played so much of that game. I played 65 different sessions of Helldivers 2.
That's amazing. Yeah, I think the most sessions I played was 57 sessions of Persona 3, and then 44 sessions of State of Decay, and then 62 sessions played of Last Epoch, but many of those were on the shorter end, apparently, because time played was less. So, yeah.
That's 120 sessions of Age of History 2, by the way.
You know, that makes sense based on how many times I look up and I see Age of History 2 Mad at Arms.
Yeah.
So what genres of games did you guys play the most this year? I can go
for
first.
Me,
okay, go ahead.
For me, the ones that actually showed up on the little graph, roguelike deck builder and detective.
Detective, Matt. I love that detective was there for you.
Yeah,
it was not there for me.
Yeah, because of Oberdin, right? That's the main reason. And then everything else: Grand Strategy, Lego, Wargame, and Idler. That's all my son.
Idler. Oh man. For me, big one is Zombies. Zombies, turn-based combat, JRPG is a big one because there were other JRPGs on my list that I didn't list. Action roguelike, open world survival with crafting. That would be State of Decay. And then a little bit of looter shooter in there. So I must have played some Borderlands this year, earlier in the year. Because I haven't played much Borderlands lately, but played a little bit of Borderlands early in the year. And so it's the only looter shooter I play, I'm pretty sure. So, and I'm terrible at that game. So bad at it.
Mine is wrong. I don't know what it is, but it's wrong.
Cool.
Because here are my 6.
Okay.
I have number 1, party game, which
I
play a lot of Jackbox.
Yeah.
Okay, I can see that. Number 2, trivia. I don't know if they're counting trivia and Jackbox as the same as like two different things.
Yeah, because
outside of that, I don't play trivia games.
Yeah.
Then number 3, board game. That one's probably correct, actually, because I did play Dune Imperium and Spirit Island. Number 4, detective. Okay, fine. Number 5, battle royale. I think I played like 2 minutes of Apex Legend this year, so I don't know where that's coming from.
Are they counting Helldivers as a battle royale?
Yeah. God, it's not. So I don't know why they would. And then my last one is a farming sim, which again, I don't know what game they're counting. I played a little Stardew Valley.
There you go.
But like that's one game.
I mean, maybe Esports Godfather. Game. Maybe Esports Godfather really is just a farming sim that you're not aware of.
I haven't played Stardew since January.
Yeah, because you've played a lot of other games. I mean, you've played at least 50 hours of Mass Effect, and I know you played some more in the summer. So how is not RPG on there for you?
I don't know. It's all weird.
That's really good. Because, I mean, open world survival and zombies is both in mine, and that's all State of Decay. So that's really funny. All right, we should get on to the game recap because we got a lot to go over.
Intercom's open. You got anything you want to say to the crew? Now's the time.
Okay.
Thank you, Joker. I will indeed. This plot recap gonna be a bit longer, folks, because we are going from Vermeer to the end of the game. So let's start out back on Vermeer. As a recap, we are chasing after the rogue Spectre Saren, and we had just wrapped up by defeating Matriarch Benezia. And after Matriarch Benezia, we also were able to deal with the Rachni Queen. I think all of us let her live, and kind of the other Rachni that were on in the base over there. So we are now hunting Saren, and we get a tip that he might be on Vermeer because the council has received a transmission that is so garbled and faint that the only thing they could tell was that it was on a secure line, so probably pretty important, but they have no context for what that message is at all, and that's a little important. We eventually arrive on Vermeer, and there are a bunch of Geth. We make our way to the Solarian base of operations. And these dudes, these Solarians, they have their special forces, which are the STG, and they are super cool. I love these dudes. These guys are great. These guys are cool. They have a leader named Captain Kirahi. He is awesome. He's one of my favorite characters in the series, despite the fact that he really only shows up in 1 and a little bit in 2 and 3 as mentions. And he gives fantastic speeches. I love his speech. He gives a wonderful speech. That's all about hold the line. When the Rachni invaded, we held the line. So on and so forth. It's phenomenal. It gives me chills every single time.
They kind of did. The Krogan mostly held the line there, but go ahead.
Yeah.
Take credit. take the credit.
They will take credit. The STG are good. We then get a report about what's happening on this planet. And Captain Kier, he messaged out looking for an entire army. And instead, he got Shepard and Rex, which is basically an army. So you got what you wanted. We find out that there is a base on this planet that is a Krogan breeding facility. Now, you may be thinking to yourself, wait a minute, Krogan aren't able to breed super well. That's actually probably the worst type of breeding facility because Krogan have an impossible time breeding because of the genophage. Well, Saren fixed that. Mostly. Kind of? Sort of. Probably. Yes, we think. Maybe. And Rex, who is a Krogan, not happy because we have to destroy the facility. And Rex is like, hey, Shepard, they fixed the cure to the genocide of my people? I'm not cool blowing it up. And at some point, you have to have a conversation with Rex in which you need to convince him one way or another not to just go on an all-out rampage against everybody there and leave Saren to do his work. How did the convincing of Rex go for you guys?
I have a lot to say about this. So do you want to start, Matt? And then because I have a lot of opinions about this whole thing.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. It's been a couple weeks ago. I think I just did the red option, the threatened option, or the bully option,
Renegade.
The renegade option, where it's like this thing's bigger than you. This thing's bigger than everything else. We need to take care of it. And he's like, all right, fine, we'll make it work. I'm not happy, but we'll deal.
Yeah. We don't know it's bigger than everything else yet, though. Which is kind of funny. True. But I did the blue version of it where I was like, hey, bud, this is tough, but we have to do this thing. And also I did his side quest, and so he was cool with it no matter what, anyways. Yeah. But I'm on Dan, Dano, I'm on Rex's side here. Wait, no, they fixed the problem. They fixed the glitch. And it wasn't like there was a whole lot to I think they were saying, oh, these are Saren's broken people though. So really they're still slaves. And so this is a bad thing.
Yes.
But who's to say that we can't take what Saren did and then make them not slaves? That should have been an option, but instead it was hey, these are Saren slaves, and so this is how you convince, or how I convince Rex, hey, these are Saren slaves, they're not really your people, so we have to just get through this. But then everybody else you talk to is hey, did you talk down that monster and his monstrous people wanting to be able to have babies again, those monsters? They were all just oh, I hope you were able to talk to that monster. And I'm why are you all so awful? You're just all so
That's
awful. Like,
Yeah,
they just want to have children, my dudes. Like,
yeah. When I walked around there, when I walked around afterwards after the conversation, was like, "You talk to him like that? Oh
how'd you talk him down? How did you have a
Yeah.
conversation with him? He's a people, and I treated him like a people."
Yeah.
I think that one thing that Mass Effect 1 doesn't do great, but Mass Effect 2 and 3, surprise, surprise, they fix it in 2.
You said they fix it in 2?
Is like how genuinely horrific most Krogan culture is. And like Rex is an anomaly. So it's really weird because the main exposure that we have to like the Krogan people in this game is Rex, who is a rational, intelligent person who, like does things for money and has a mercenary background, but still like thinks things through. And there are a lot of Krogan who do not. There are a lot of Krogan who are just like, hey, I'm gonna kill you because I want to. And I think that that's the reason why so many characters are like genuinely afraid and are like, we have to blow this up immediately. It's because that's what the average Krogan looks like to most species. And I do think that they really struggle because I'm kind of on Rex's side for a lot of this.
100%.
And the fact, and I will say that it's a real bummer if you have to kill Rex. I had to kill Rex one time because I didn't do the full Paragon options. And Rex is such an important character throughout the series, and if he's not there, it's such a bummer. But I love Rex, and I will do anything I can to protect that baby boy.
In fairness to your first playthrough, I played with Rex through a lot of this game, and eventually had to take Rex out of my party because Guy could not stop standing in the way. I would be like sniper rifle, like drawn, scoped in, and then Rex's big old dome would like step in the way, and I'm like, Rex, bud, like, you got to have a little bit of like, just general awareness here, pal. Just general awareness of your surroundings. Please do not step in front of me when I am about to pull the trigger. This is very frustrating. So like Rex stopped being in my party. I couldn't do it anymore because like Sniper, you can't play Sniper with him because he just steps in front of you because he's so big.
He's so big. He's so big.
But yeah, I just did his side quests and that took care of the problem. So, or it seemed to. So.
Yes. Yeah. If you do complete a side quest, then he's like, Shepard, you've done more for me than most of my own people have. So I'll let this one slide. Which,
I did the side quest after this mission. Like, where I was like, okay, I'll do the side quest after this. Like, you know.
Like, interesting.
So yeah, I didn't get a chance. I didn't do the side quest right away. Or I didn't do it like. I was in the time where I was like, okay, I need more things to do to fill out playing this game because I'm enjoying playing this game.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. Moving on. After you deal with Rex, and hopefully don't kill him, and none of us did. Congratulations, us.
Yeah.
Captain Kirrahe reveals the major plan. It is use a big bomb to blow everything up. But he needs a friend because he's lonely. It's just him and his team, so he needs either KAIDAN or Ashley. You get to choose who goes with him. They're probably going to be fine. Then you make your way to this base as Captain Kirrahe is like drawing the main focus of the attack. So he's got a squad. You've got 2 other people with you. And so you're making your way through the base, and you can destroy a couple of things here or there to aid in his distractions. Specifically, you can kill some flyers, some refueling stations, and if you do a certain number of things correctly, you can actually make it so Captain Kirrahe makes it out alive. You make your way through the base, and you find a Prothean beacon? Sort of. It's another something. You get visions from it. Then, the second major twist of the game. That big ship that we talked about, it's a Reaper. It's not just a Reaper ship. It's an actual Reaper. So like the Reapers aren't some other like sentient race in the form of like the way that we see every other race depicted in Mass Effect, which is somewhat humanoid or about humanoid in size. These things are Taurus, and the ship's name is Sovereign, and he reveals that every 50,000 years, roughly, the Reapers return from dark space and wipe out all organic life that is of a certain evolutionary or technological tier. Sovereign can also control minds, like really well. It turns out this breeding facility is only partially a breeding facility. It's actually also mainly a mind control facility where Saren has been testing with Sovereign's abilities, and they've kidnapped a number of Solarians, they've kidnapped a bunch of people and mind controlled them. But Saren's probably fine and definitely not super mind controlled.
He
So
tells you
we
so,
have to
so
split
it must be true.
Yeah,
Right.
he's totally fine. So we have to split up our team. Either Caden or Ashley is arming the bomb, and the other one is on the team that is being overrun. And we have to help someone, but we can't save both. So both of them will tell you to save the other person. Either save the individual that is with Captain Kirahi, or save the person that is planting the bomb. You do get to make that choice, and the other person dies. And I love this spot, and we'll have a discussion here in just a second, because there's no way around it. There's no like golden route where you get to save both of them. One of them has to die. And I love that design choice from a narrative perspective. But let's talk about, why did we all kill Caden?
Oh, well, he has no personality, right? Like, he's basically the wallpaper of NPCs. There's just like nothing there. At least Ashley has like some sort of like story to her. But Caden is just not, it's just, yeah. I almost undid it because I was like, well, how would I? So I tried to like actually think through how I would like I tried to role play the situation out actually. Like, okay, what's more important here? Saving Caden and Solarians, because that's where I sent Caden to go with the Solarians, or Ashley with the bomb. And I'm like, okay, I think the bomb is more important in this situation than the Solarians are. So I'm going to, because the bomb is going to like blow this whole situation up, and that's what we need to happen. So like if I leave Ashley to her devices and she fails, I say the Solarians, it's really just like it's not necessarily a victory because we still failed. So I was like, I have to go back and protect this bomb to make sure that it goes off, essentially. So I ended up saving Ashley, but that was I was happy I was able to roleplay my way into that, because I did not want to have to play two more games worth of Mass Effect with Caden in my party. I could not handle Caden being on that ship because he is so dull. I was like, I can't with you. Even though Ashley, like, this game, you just are forced to date Ashley, apparently. I don't even know why or how that's, but like I was like, wait, no, I don't want to do this. I don't want this is not what I want. And she's like, too bad. And I'm like, no. maybe I should have let you get blown up. I was able to talk my way out of it though. Mostly. But yeah, Caden was just so boring. I could not think. It was honestly, I think if I knew we were done playing this game till next year, I would have been okay with offing Ashley and having Caden in the party. But knowing I have to play Mass Effect 2 and 3 and he's in both of those games, I did not want anything to do with it. So I was like, nope, goodbye.
Yeah, Dan, same reason, Dan. I sent Ashley with the bomb. I sent Caden with the troopers. And like, it's the same reason. I role played it out. It's like we may have to make sure this blows up. Caden, you gotta eat it. Sorry, and also you're boring.
So boring. Gosh.
But my regret now that I've finished it is like maybe I should have romanced Caden to the point, because there is that it doesn't do anything. Nothing happens until you head to the next major plot point, right?
Yeah.
So maybe a romance, and then we'd be more tragic for my shepherd, which is FemShep.
That's my favorite way to go about this, is romance somebody and then have them die here.
Yeah.
I was kind of doing that with Ashley, but not purposely. I did not want to do that. But like the game sort of forces you, because if you just ask her enough questions, she's like, and now we're dating. I was like, no, I was just being a nice person. I wanted to get to know you. That doesn't mean we're dating. So ridiculous.
I wish that I had not played ahead of you guys, so that, because I think had I known both of you guys killed Caden, I probably would have saved him, just to get that different perspective. But in the moment, I was like, Ashley has such, I think, the most interesting character arc overall. And like, she's not a character that I necessarily like, but she's a character that is well written. Caden is so vanilla, and in not a good, fun, vanilla is exciting way, in a, oh, I'm just eating tofu at this point, just raw tofu.
Oh,
And that
Yeah.
doesn't sound good at all.
no.
So he does get much better in 2 and 3, but
They
it
fix him in
also
two.
made a lot of sense to me of like, he's technically Shepard's right-hand man. And so for that sacrifice to be the right-hand man versus some like random soldier that I picked up felt more fitting in a sense
Yeah.
of like, if someone was gonna go down with the ship, the right-hand man feels like the person that would be more amicable about that. I mean, they're dead. It doesn't really matter what they think, but that's what went through my brain.
Yeah, and so this is a good point, right? Like he's not your executive officer, but he's kind of like the second in command in the field kind of a situation, right?
Yeah.
But like, and when you do go and talk to him, like over by the countertop he hangs out by, you do kind of have like, you kind of mission debrief to a certain extent, but like it is so, it really isn't anything there. Like I feel like they could have done so much more to make that so much more interesting, and like having that decision need to be made based on like this person who is, like you said, your right hand man. But they just did such a bad job of writing him into that character. I didn't even think of him as that until you just mentioned it right now, which I think is kind of funny, right? Like, so, so yeah. And then I also had Ashley in my party for the last like third of the game after I stopped having Rex's giant head. And so I was like, yeah, because she's so much fun to have in your group, because she is so opinionated that like when you have her and then any other alien, it's really fun interplay. The conversation is really, really good. And so I was like, I don't want to give that up. That's actually really fun. Yeah.
I actually was planning on killing her, and then I put her in my party because I was like, one
Same!
last ride. And then I was like, ooh, you do say interesting things,
I
maybe.
did the same thing. It was her and Tally and Shepard. Those are the 3 I went with for the last solid third
literally
of the game.
the exact same.
Yeah.
Literally the same.
That's awesome. It's really funny.
It's fantastic. So after we all killed KAIDAN, then Saren comes out. And turns out he knows he's being kind of mind controlled, but he says he's fine. So he's probably fine. We fight him. He gets away. We blow up the facility. Then we have a brief scene where we learn that we must go to Ilos. And Dano, I'm fascinated to talk to you about this because I forgot this scene existed. And Dano, I'd love to also talk to you about like the transition to figuring out where the conduit is and the frustration you had about knowing that. Because you get a scene where Liara's like, hey, let me look into your mind and see these visions that you just had on Vermeer with that Prothean beacon that I mentioned earlier. And then she's like, oh, I kind of know this place. It's a Prothean world, but like there's nothing there. So, but I know where it is. It's in Ilos. And so we should probably go to Ilos. And that's how you found out where you're supposed to go next. You also have a brief romance scene if you have a romance partner. I think I'm the only one that did in this playthrough.
I got out of it. I got out of it. Yeah, I almost did.
I had what's her name? Liara picked me up off the ground.
Oh, okay, fantastic. So I also did. I had one with Ashley, and it was a shockingly beautiful scene. Like Ashley just kept quoting these beautiful poets and talking about how significant it was and how much this adventure had meant to her and changed her. And I was like, this is really good. Like, this is really good. And it 100% turned me around on Ashley because I've never actually romanced her in one, but I was sold. I was like, this is great. Fantastic stuff. Dano, I want to talk about the romance scene, and then we'll get back to what happened with the overall quest log. So what was your romance scene like?
So same thing that you had, actually. It was like, we're sitting there by the lockers or whatever, and she comes by, and you start having this conversation, and I was like, no, I really don't want this. And there's no, hey, we're just friends option. Like, and so... So, like, I'm kind of working through it, and I'm like, Sarah's like, what's wrong? Because she's, like, sitting behind me on the couch, and I'm like, I'm accidentally dating this person, but I don't want this. She's like, what? What are you talking about?
What does that mean?
I'm like, it's this dumb game. So I get to the final part where you're kind of, like, getting to, like, the romance scene, basically. And I'm like, okay, the third option appears to be a pause. And so I chose the third option, which was like, hey, now's not the right time, with everything being so heavy and so serious. We just need to like, not at this moment, because I don't want the crew getting jealous. And she was like, oh, okay. And then the rest of it is not Squelch appropriate, what she says. And so but you really should go YouTube it, because it's really funny. But
sometimes if I can put it in a Squelch friendly format,
yes,
sometimes situations cause some tension, and there are many methods in which that tension can be relieved, and I believe that she was wanting to do so.
Yes.
Perhaps a brief workout or a meditation. Who's to say the specifics?
Who's to say? She is not subtle about it, though, and it's really funny. And she does it in a really funny way, though, too, which is like hey, we're definitely dating, though. And I'm like, no, we're definitely friends. I just was being nice. I was trying to be nice and get to know you as a coworker. This is not what you think it is. We are just friends here. You don't seem to get that.
Matt, what was your experience like?
So are we talking about the dating scenes before we go to Elos, or?
Correct.
Okay, yeah. So I got Liara, and she's like, let's go, and things happened.
So
did you like it? Like, without getting into like the graphic details, but like, was the emotion interesting?
Yeah, it was good. Like, it was like, it was like, because we're going into the final battle, right? And it's like one of those, and it's like, it's one of those. Initially I was not going to have any relationship in this game.
It doesn't let you.
No, I encouraged it with Liara. So it was like one of those, because so, and then it was a good scene. It was emotional. It was interesting. Like, it was very late 90s video game-y. Or not late 90s. It was
early
like
2000s.
Early 2000s video game-y.
2006,
so
yeah.
Yeah, so, it was fine. It was good.
Fair enough.
But
now, at this point...
Oh, wait, one thing.
Yes.
One thing. So there are 3 romance options in this game, right? There's KAIDAN, there's Ashley, and there's Liara, right?
Right.
Yes.
I don't think you can not romance somebody unless you kind of do what I do, which is you're in a romance, but you don't like finish the romance scene, basically. Because I think we all had the romance scene at the same part, right? It's all this at the same time. It's written into the game. Before you go to Ilos, you have the romance scene, and then you go.
You do always have a romance scene with heavy air quotes, but that scene is also sometimes by yourself. So if you basically completely ignore Ashley and Liara and like don't talk to them during the ship a lot, then they won't ever develop that romantic interest, and they will actually like confront you and be like, pick one of us or neither of us, and you can say no. So that's the scene that could happen.
This really is just like, this is this game in a nutshell. It's just so awkward.
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
I love that so much. Hey, choose one. That's not how this works.
So from here, we then move on. But Dano, you couldn't move on, and I couldn't figure out for the life of me why you couldn't. Because after you complete Vermeer, you're supposed to get this vision, and it'll tell you directly go to this planet. But that didn't happen for you, Dano. Would you like to talk about why it didn't happen?
So I was playing a no Liara playthrough. So, because I thought that would be funny. Because apparently, like, the idea is like, if you don't ever go rescue Liara, you can finish the game, and then the game ends, and she's like, "Hey, dude, look, what about me?" That'd be pretty funny. I've been stuck here this whole time. And so I was just not going to Liara's planet. I was like just doing everything to basically work around that, like being super careful when I was doing my fetch quests, like stay away from Liara's planet, because it says very clearly Liara's in this planet cluster. And I was like, okay, don't go there. And so after I finished the last planet, before I should be able to go back to Citadel, basically, essentially, I think, it didn't let me. And it was like, hey, so you click on the quest, and it was like, okay, you need to go do these 4 things. And I was like, I already did those 4 things. I have to go back to those 4 planets. And by this point, I was like done with like going to planets and like scanning them and driving around the Mako. I just really did not want to do that anymore. I was over it. I was like, oh, I'd finished all the side quests, even like the dopey fetch quests, which have no impact on the game whatsoever. I
told you not to.
You could just like it was there. How am I not going to check the box? Like I needed to get 3 more gas giants. How am I not going to find 3 more gas giants? How am I not going to find the last insignia? Of course I'm going to find. I'm like 13 out of 14. I'm going to find the 14th. Like, they don't do anything. They don't
do anything.
Like it's just like, and there's not even any fanfare when you complete it. It's like, here's some experience, and you're like, wait, is it over? Then you go to your journal and it's no longer there, and you're like, why was that there?
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, that's neither here nor there. And so I couldn't figure out how to progress the game, actually. And so I was kind of ranting a little bit in Discord, in our group chat in Discord. And Stormrage's like, you should definitely be able to move on here. And what we figured out was I have to go to Liara's planet, which makes sense because she is the one who unlocks the final bit. Do you want me to talk about what happens when you don't have Liara in your group the whole time?
Yes, I really do.
It's really some of the most fun gaming I think I've ever had. Like the devs 100% did this on purpose, where it was like, if you don't have Liara in your party, like you do all the things that she basically would have like helped you along with, but you do them on your own. And so when you get Liara, instead of her being like the source of all knowledge about the Protheons and the Reapers and all this kind of stuff, you've already figured it all out. And she's just like this person who's like along at the very end. And so you're having like your little group chat that you have before like your meeting, basically, in your meeting room. And she's like, okay, so all right, so we have to do this thing. And you're like, actually, like, oh, no, we've already done that. We're good. And she's like, what? She's like, oh, yeah, no, we're good. No, it's this, and this. And then Liara will be like, okay, well, what about this? And Ash is like, nah, we're good. We've already figured that out as well. And then Shepard will be like, yeah, no, it's this and this. I had some visions. And basically, she kind of questions like everything that she would have helped with. And instead, you're kind of like, yeah, aren't you the expert? It seems like we're the experts here. And it's just like really, really funny because like it became quite apparent, at least kind of how I read it was, if she's in your group from the beginning, she's kind of like the expert on all this stuff, which she's kind of, she is in the game, right? She's like this academic who is the expert on this like ancient race that no one really is super expert on and no one really cares about, but her really. And so like, but you're now, it's important to you in the storyline. So she's kind of like the guide. But if you just don't go and grab the guide, you still accomplish everything. You still figure it all out on your own. And then at the end, when you pick her up, she's like, I have all this information for you. And you're like, yeah, no, we know all that. And we know some other things too. And she's like, oh, okay. Well, I guess I know where the last planet is. And you're like, cool, thanks. Let's figure that part out then. And then so she does like the mind meld thing, and then like she just kind of fades off into the background, and like Ashley gives like one more like basically like pity high five, and then you go on. I was so happy I saved Ashley because it was so much shade. It was so funny because it was all that like snark that Ashley has towards aliens, but then also kind of like some funny like anti-academic snark as well. It was really, really funny where it was like, you're not the expert here, pal.
That's funny.
It was really good.
I love that. I'm sad that we had that brief moment of frustration where you're like, something's gone terribly wrong. I was like, please don't be bugged. Please don't be bugged.
It was so worth it. It was so worth it.
I'm so glad it was worth it.
Oh, but it was funny because I didn't even think about going to her planet because I've been ignoring that quest for so long that like it being incomplete was just part of like the UI by that point. Like I just was like, okay, I don't do this thing. Even though if I had thought it through, I've been like, oh, I probably have to go there to progress the storyline. That was one of the major things. But I was just like, in my head, I was like, I don't need to do this. And so I had basically mentally checked it off. And so I'd be staring at the UI and everything was complete except for those two things, but I did not see that bottom thing. I just didn't even pop into my head to do it. But so glad that I waited to the end though, because it was really, really funny. I wish I'd recorded it. It was awesome. It was great. Find it on
I-
YouTube. It's super funny.
Yeah, I'm absolutely going to check it out. So after we get some more visions and kind of clarify them thanks to Liara, we know that Saren is searching for the conduit on a planet called Ilos that's in the Terminus systems. And we go to the council to get some help on this mission because, like, hey, we shut down this Krogan breeding facility, we shut down all these other things, we've done some good stuff for them. And they kind of believe us. They're calling in fleets to the Citadel to protect against an attack, but they also refuse to let us go into the Terminus systems to actually, go get him. And what's more so, they also ground the Normandy, so they refuse to let you go anywhere because they plan to have the Normandy on hand to defend against an attack. And Shepard's like, hey, you know how every time I've been right, because every time I'm like, hey, I should do this thing, and every time you tell me no, and every time I'm right, this is one of those times, right? Right? They don't believe him. So Captain Anderson has a plan. He's like, I'm going to get the Normandy unlocked, and you've got two options. Either option one, I'm going to distract the guards, and it'll be totally fine. Or option two, I'm going to punch Counselor Udina in the face, or Ambassador Udina in the face. And what did you guys choose? And what did you do here?
Go ahead, Matt.
I took the best option. I punched Udina in the face because he deserves it.
I also punched Udina in the face, and it's maybe my favorite scene in the entire
Yeah,
Mass
it's
Effect
really
one.
good.
I did as well. There was no other option.
No.
Like,
It's like, get caught by guards and possibly get arrested or punch a guy in the face.
this
It's
was
specifically Udina, because Udina's the absolute worst.
He
Like
is.
Saren, I get. Saren's on a bad path, but I understand his reasoning. Udina's just insert several words I can't use on Squelch. He's just all of the words.
Right.
And I hate him so much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's miserable. And and this is a point where you have to like not think about the storyline of the game in order to not be annoyed at this particular story. It was like, first of all, how are you grounding the Normandy when I'm supposed to have like infinite power and like nothing? I can do whatever I want. I am a Spectre now. I do whatever I want. And I know it's like I'm still part of the Alliance military, but like, am I though? So
No, that's not why. Your part, so when you're a Spectre, you answer to the council and you still have your funds and your things are still directed at the council's request. And the Normandy is a part of now council ships. So when the council says you don't go, you can't go.
but I think I was grounded by the Alliance because I was grounded by Udina, right?
Oh, Udina sold you out. And then,
Yeah.
Yes,
Udina
sold you out to the council.
Because the whole point of the Spectres is you really don't answer. You answered us, but you really don't answer to anybody. You have to do a lot to get basically impeached as a Spectre. So you really can do whatever you want until we don't want you to do this thing and we want to have this little thing, and then we're gonna say you can't do anything. And it's like, I have infinite money. I have all the I own all the raw materials in the known galaxy now. I've mined them all. I like I have 999,999,999 credits. And
you're not a billionaire.
299 items because I have to keep on deleting stuff. So I could just go buy my own ship and bring my crew on there. It felt like there could have been a little bit different. This could be done slightly different, right? I don't know how that would have been done, but I found it slightly annoying because I was like, I just don't feel like this was how the game explained Spectres.
Interesting. I've never considered that.
And kind of like, there's like, okay, and now we want to have this interlude here where you have to like do one more bit of politicking where you have your choice again, right? And I felt like it was a little ham-fisted. Ham-fisted. I think a lot of this game is a little ham-fisted. And that might be the title of this episode, a little ham-fisted. Because I feel like the Mass Effect 1 is like, it is definitely the rough draft of Mass Effect 2 and Mass Effect 3. It's like we're figuring out how we're going to make these games good.
Yeah, I think
Agree
that
with
from
that.
a mechanic standpoint, I super agree. I do think from a story standpoint, I actually like a lot of the story beats in one. And I don't think I would put them
Mhm.
as
I think
ham-fisted or as a rough draft, though.
I think the main story bits are really good. I think
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think a lot of the side story stuff is not as good.
Yeah.
I think that's fair.
Yeah, and I'll definitely talk about a lot about this more later because I think that's kind of when I game review this game. That's gonna be a lot
Mhm.
of my critique. But yeah, at this part I didn't find as now getting to punch the guy was fun. But for
It's
the
great
rest of
fun.
it, I kind of felt like it was very much like, okay, and now we're railroading you through this storyline. You have
Yeah.
to do this. They still don't believe you. It's like, how do they not believe me still? Like, I've been right about literally everything. And it is
Yeah.
the job that you gave me to to go and do what I deem fit, that I have to do for the best of the galaxy. That's why you created Spectres, was to be this extra government, like inside the government but outside the government force. Like, that's what I'm here to do. It's my job to go and check this stuff out, and you're telling me not to now. And it's like, but that's my job. Literally my job is to go do the stuff that you don't want me to do.
Now to clarify, the reason why they don't want you to go there is because the council has control over most of the systems and all the systems that we've gone to. But there is a section of space called the Terminus systems that they do not. And it is a rogue area of the galaxy that if council forces were to go in there, war would happen, like war between the Terminus systems and the council races, which is not what they want. So they fear that by sending anybody into the Terminus systems, which we don't do at any point throughout the game, that it could spark a war, even if it is a Spectre. And so that is their reasoning for it.
Except for the fact that this specific Spectre has a ship that can't be detected by anybody, which is what you end up doing anyway, is using your undetectable
Yeah.
ship to go and
Yeah.
do the thing that they didn't want you to do anyways. So, like, again, yes, but I, like, as the Spectre with the undetectable ship, I'm the guy to go do this thing. And
yeah,
like,
but let's not pretend that when Shepard goes someplace, just because the ship is stealthy, that he is stealthy. Shepard blows things up all the time. Look what he did
Yeah.
with Vermeer. He blew up a whole
oh
planet.
no, that wasn't even our plan. That was something.
I
Hey,
know.
where's the dude? Where was the dude? It was his plan. I just followed his special forces plan. They're like, yeah, but you blew it up. And I was like, no, I didn't. That wasn't even my plan. That was your
But you
guys'
blew it up,
plan.
Dan.
That was
did-
your
you
guys'
blew it
plan.
up.
though.
It still blew up.
I was
and
so
you were
annoyed about
there.
that as well.
It's
I was
your
like, that
fault.
was your guy. That was your guy's plan, and you're blaming me. Oh, here goes the human blowing stuff up. And I was like, no, it was your guys' plan. I was so frustrated. And he didn't even show up after. I'm like, why'd I save you if you're not going to show up? Like, back me up here, guy.
Fair point. So we eventually find our way out of the Citadel and make our way to Ilos. And we know that Sarian is searching for the conduit. Who knows what it is? Well, we do, sort of. Eventually, we learn what it is on this planet. There's a lot of MacGuffins. There's a lot of things throughout this story that are like, here's the thing that's really important. You'll find out what it is later. And after searching through the planet, we come across an AI named Vigil. And Vigil gives us a whole history of the Protheans and a lot of gaps that even like Liara has no idea about. So here's a brief recap of the history of the Protheans that we get from Vigil. The Protheans were wiped out because essentially 50,000 years ago, and apparently every 50,000 years when the Reapers come into space, they use the Citadel as a giant mass relay. And the reason they do this is because they built the Citadel some millennia ago, and they use it because they know that other sentient races will be drawn to the power of the Citadel. And so they just basically activate the Citadel as a trap. They fly all their dudes in, they blow up the main system of government, and then all of a sudden everything becomes much, much easier. Yes, Matt.
Was it Sovereign who told us they built that the Reapers are the ones who built the mass relays and the Citadel
Yes.
and the Keepers and everything else?
Yes.
Okay.
We
and then
learned
that
about the
gets-
Keepers from Vigil.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because there's a thing with the keepers that he talks about as you get to it here shortly.
Yeah.
You mentioned earlier. Sorry to step away from the microphone for a second, but you mentioned earlier, what is the conduit? What could it possibly be? If you type in conduit definition, conduit, a means by which something is transmitted. Figured it out. Figured it out.
It's not incorrect.
No, I mean, but it's space. It could mean anything.
It is. It's space. It could mean anything.
So we learned that 50,000 years ago, the Reapers transported directly to the Citadel and wiped out the entire Prothean government in the blink of an eye. The Protheans tried to fight for literal centuries, but eventually the Reapers killed nearly all of them. And Vigil talks about it, how the genocide of an entire race is a long, slow process, and the Reapers were meticulous. They went planet by planet, and because they started with a Citadel, they also had records of every single civilization that they had. They had records of their people, they had records of where they lived, they had records of their army, their military. The destruction and takeover of the Citadel was so significant that the Protheans just didn't stand a chance. Dano?
Very cool story. Really enjoyed this.
Story.
I thought it was a very interesting story. Really loved how the downfall of the Protheans. I thought it was super cool.
Yeah, actually, the whole concept is super cool too. Because it's like this ancient like tech race that hates life so much that they basically send out bait for for all of like organic life, to like, okay, once they start using it and start amassing and start organizing, we're just going to wipe them out.
Yeah, it is so good. It was definitely the story written by the main story writer instead of the side quest story writer, because it was just way too well written. Because it was so interesting. I wish that went into some of like the character storylines, because that was like, it was so interesting, and it was such a you basically could have just like aid your way through it, right? Just like go. I don't want to listen to someone just talk at me for 10 minutes. But it was such a cool bit of exposition. But it was just exposition. Like you were just talked at for 10 minutes.
Correct. Yes. And so that brings us to, well, what is Ilos? Ilos was a research facility for the Protheans, and they basically put a number of Protheans, including scientists, including military, including support personnel, into cryosleep. But again, they talked about how long the process of the Reapers eventually leaving took. It took hundreds of years. So they slowly had to dwindle down the number of pods that were using cryosleep. And that was Vigil's job, is he had to determine who could survive, or who would survive, and who was most important to the continuation of the Prothean race. And so eventually you lose like hundreds of people in these pods. And they are eventually woken up when the Reapers leave. So we know that there were Protheans when the Reapers left the system. But they have very little resources, very little power, very few people. And Vigil even says, we didn't have enough to keep our society going. We just didn't have any options. So they try to keep as many of them alive, but they don't really succeed. The Protheans, the scientists that are then awoken, eventually go back to the Citadel, and they discover that the Keepers, remember that Keeper quest that we talked about, how good it was at the very, very beginning of Mass Effect 1? Those things are actually Reaper agents, and they activate the Citadel that brings Reapers in from dark space. So that's one of the major reasons why these Keepers are just doing these things. So the Protheans were able to create a code that would keep the Keepers inactive when they were called upon by the Reapers. So when the signal went to the Keepers this time around, all of a sudden, Keepers didn't respond. And that's why the Reapers aren't already destroying the mass relays. They aren't already here, uttering in the destruction of all civilization, because the Protheans saved us about 50,000 years ago. The Keepers are now chill, and we don't need to worry about them. But hold up, what's the conduit? We still haven't learned what the conduit is. Don't worry, I gotcha. So the conduit is a one-way portal that the Protheans built to get to the Citadel. That thing that I just said, that the Protheans got to the Citadel even though they didn't have any power or supplies or anything, that's how they did it. They used the conduit.
This was cool. Sorry, this was because they did exposition dump that the Protheans had actually been like 3/4 of the way there to developing their own mass relay system. and this conduit was their like proof of concept, basically.
Mhm.
Yes. Yep. So this conduit made it from Ilos to the Citadel. And that's why Saren's here, because they can essentially use it as a backdoor to get into the Citadel's defenses before the Geth fleet and Sovereign rain down death, doom, and destruction to all the people. So Saren has already left, and he is in the conduit, and we are told we don't have a whole lot of time. We should probably get going here soon. So the question is, are there Protheans still alive? We don't know. The ones who went to the Citadel died because there wasn't any food, and because it was a one-way trip, they couldn't make it back. Pretty big bummer, because that would be pretty helpful. We eventually run after Saren and use the conduit to make it to the Citadel. We fight through an army of Geth to get to Saren, and Saren has had some upgrades with air quotes. We talked to him about how he was under control by Sovereign, and turns out Sovereign didn't like that. So Sovereign convinced him to upgrade and give Sovereign more control over what Saren does. We fight him, or maybe we don't. What were you guys able to talk Saren down out of this fight by chance?
I was.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
He decided like, oh, I once again I picked the renegade option with Saren, where it's like, if you have the strength to end your mind control, go ahead and do it.
And he does.
And he takes care of that, in the most direct way possible. That's what happened with me when Saren.
Yeah, I Paragoned it as well. I had Max Paragon out, and so I was like, hey, bud, you don't want to do this, really. You have your own. You're being mind controlled, and that's not cool. Namaste. And he's like, yeah, you're right, and then does the same thing. I'm assuming.
Yep. He sure does. So Saren is taken care of one way or another, and then we open the arms of the Citadel, activate the defenses of the Citadel so the Alliance can come in and help take care of Sovereign, because Sovereign has essentially entered into the Citadel and is planning on activating the mass relay that is the Citadel to bring in all the other Reapers. That's pretty bad. And also, the Council ship, the Destiny Ascension, the ship that all three members of the Council are on, are under attack. And that's not great. So we are presented with another big choice in this game. Do we sacrifice some Alliance ships in an attempt to save the Council and the Destiny Ascension ship? Or do we let the Council die to have a better shot at taking out Sovereign without losing as many Alliance ships? What did you guys choose here? Did you save the Council? Did you not save the Council? Why?
So I role played it because I'm like, okay, Sarah, like Sovereign is the real thing here. Like this is like, the real deal. If Sovereign survives, the Reaper's going to come and everybody's going to die. So it was like, focus on Sovereign, F the Council, and we'll figure it out later. That's where I went.
I did both because Dean was at this point playing with me, and so he was like sitting next to me where I was playing the game at this point. And I was like, "Well, what do you think, Dean?" He was like, I think we should focus on Sovereign." And I was like, "Are you sure? That means that the Council's gonna die." And he goes, "Yeah, I'm pretty sure." And then so I go, "Okay," so we do that. And then we get the cut scene where they're like, they've abandoned us. They've abandoned us. And I look over at Dean, and he looks all upset. He's like, "Oh, wait a minute." And I was like, "Do you want to redo it, bud?" He's like, "Yeah." So I went back to the save right before that, and then went and saved the Council, which is what I would have done anyways. So yeah, so save the Council.
I also saved the Council, and it is exclusively because of one Council member. So of the three Council members, there's a Solarian who is kind of middling. They're kind of annoying. They're kind of fine. There's a Turian who's the most annoying of the bunch by far and questions every single thing that you as Shepard do and very clearly has a distaste for humans. And then there's Tevos, who is the Asari counselor, and she is phenomenal. She's the only one that listens to Shepard. She's the only one that presents reasonable explanations for why the Council does or does not do certain things, and she gives Shepard enough trust and will shut down bad arguments. I liked Tevos so much. She is the only reason I saved the Council. I was like, I like you enough. The others, if they happen to die, that's fine by me. I don't really care about them. But I want you alive for the next few games.
I did it because I felt as the humanity needs the rest of the galaxy, Shepard, that he would have been like, no, we can't sacrifice the rest of the galaxy for humanity's sake. And so I was like, and like for like the long run here, I think the play that my shepherd would kind of see was, you know, we have to think of what, even if I think the council is sort of worthless, and I do think they are, at least as portrayed in this game, I feel like, you know, from the side of like, we can't go this alone. Humanity can't stand on its own. That's why Shepard chose that option. I kind of role played it out a little bit. That's kind of why I kind of went that way, was we can't go this alone, and we can't choose to go this alone at the end even here. So that's kind of what my thought process was.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
At the very end, we still are not quite done yet. We have two major things left happening. Turns out Saren is still alive, kind of.
Ish.
He turns into a monstrosity that is the final boss. So he like reawakens as like this Geth creation, or as this sovereign-esque thing.
He's sovereign, basically, right? He's like the sovereign personified.
Yes, essentially.
Yeah.
And he's terrifying, and eventually we were able to beat him. And when the smoke clears, everybody's alive. The Alliance has defeated Sovereign and Saren. The Citadel is in ruins, but not beyond repair. And the final scene is with Anderson and Udina, and also sometimes the Council, if you save the Council. Matt, I don't think you saw the Council because they were dead
the
by the time.
the Council was dead, so it was Anderson and Udina for the last
Fantastic.
Just choosing which one's going to run the galaxy?
Yeah, it was an easy choice. Well, with the whatever additional council members get put in.
So there's new council members that get added to the game.
Yeah, we don't know who they are, but like, you know, it's like, but basically, which like the choice for me was, you know, who should run who should be like, okay, humanity has, you know, obviously getting a spot in this council because we're in charge now.
We just saved everybody.
We saved everybody's butt. Let's take our spot in the council. Hey, Shepard, who should be on the council? And I was like, Anderson, because Udina, you stink.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I'm guessing we all picked Anderson as our ambassadors.
Yeah, though I kind of regret it because I think it might be kind of funny to see Udina as a member of the council.
He's the worst. He's the absolute worst.
But no,
I want to note one small thing, and I don't know if you saw this dialogue option or not, Matt, but there's a dialogue option if you go Renegade and you don't save the council to like do an all-human council.
Whoa.
It doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah. You can say no, like you can go full Renegade and be like, no, humanity should run the council. I didn't choose that one because I'm not full Renegade. I was just kind of actually at the end of the game, my Renegade bars and my Paragon bars were like equal.
Oh, nice.
Oh, interesting.
So I was towing the line as much as I could, you know, with my choices. So like, I was like, no, like we, you know, if we're going to have a human, we're going to have Anderson on the council, and we need the rest of the council races to help fight the Reapers. So,
yeah. So there is that option, or it's presented as an option of like, hey, you can just have an all human council. You can't. By the time it gets to the next game, they're basically like, ooh, that was a bad idea. We didn't do that. So the developers bailed on that idea pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I felt like the reasoning that the game gave you for getting to choose Anderson or Udina was really weird, though. It was like, you know, do you choose Anderson because you think there needs to be a military presence on this council, or do you choose the politician? And I was like, no, I just chose the better person, regardless of him being in his military background has nothing to do with it. How is that why you think I want him? Like, why are you thinking that? Like, it was a really weird decision by the writers. I thought was like, do you want military to be in charge, or do you want, you know, the elected politician to be in charge? And I was like, oh no, I want the person who wasn't written like a toolbox to be in charge. Like, wait a minute, I don't get it. Can we talk about the final fight real quick? Or are we at that point? Are we at that point?
Yeah, I've finished with my recap. We may talk about whatever.
So how was the final fight for you guys? How was it? Easy, hard, especially you, Storm Rage, since you were playing on like ultra hard mode.
Yeah, I was playing on Insanity, and it took me a while to finish that fight. It was probably a 10-minute fight because he just had so much health. Yeah. It was not insanely difficult because basically all I had to do, he just summons a bunch of Geth. You kill the Geth, and then you kill him. And so it's just a bunch of waves of that. So it was not insanely difficult. I only died twice, but it did take a while, and it was really fun. It was an engaging fight that I had to think through quite a bit.
It wasn't bad. Like the worst part was like him jump. Like he couldn't. He doesn't stand still. That's the
Correct.
worst part.
Yeah.
Of it. Like it's like, come on. Like let me just sit and pop at you for a while. Like no, I'm just gonna.
Yeah, it was
bounce
one of
off
those
the
jumpy
walls
boys. Yeah.
Yeah. Like so if you early if you're playing this and if you're it's one of those Geth that like stick to the walls.
Yep.
Mhm.
The
that are,
jumpy
like,
boys. Yeah.
The jumpy boys, yeah, like it's basically one of those. It's just like a souped up version of that. And I thought it was pretty good, but like it was fine.
I had broken combat by the end of the game. So I had maxed out sniper rifles. I had bought the Spectre sniper rifle and then put the explosion ammo into it and then the plus damage ammo into it and one-shotted the back half of the game. So like they're like so most if it had a shield, it usually was like if it had it was like a mini boss with a shield, it was a 2-shot. Everything else was a 1-shot for me. Like I stopped using skills in the game because I had the Spectre sniper rifle maxed out with the explosion stuff in it. So I just stopped doing combat and I just was like, stay out of my way so I can just finish this. And the last boss was just literally like, okay, after I chewed through the shield, like it was a 2-shot after I got through the shield. I was just 2-shot the final boss. Like it was, I think 3 shots to get through the shield. And then the first shot took down a little under half of his health, and then the second one took down the last half. It was absolutely ridiculous. And then the best part of the game though, by the end, but I forget the best part of the game was in the Mako, you could like use the missile thing to shoot at the feet of humanoid Geth, and then they would like fire way off into space. And so basically the game became, how far can I send these flaming Geth?
Yeah, it's so much fun. It is incredibly fun,
but
especially like you're in a low G environment too. It's even better.
Yeah. And so, but the combat was absolutely. It was just like, it wasn't even on purpose. It was like, I'm just gonna put this. See how this explosion stuff works out. I'm like, I bet you it kind of will be a bit of a hindrance with like it overheating so quickly. I can get 3 shots off with my sniper rifle. 3 shots. If I'm just taking stuff at a decent pace, I'm not even slowing down. Like, So, but with the final boss, I would get my 3 shots, then I'd have to go behind and wait for it to cool down. And then his shield would pop back up again a little bit. So I had to use mine and Tally's like shield blasting ability. Once I did that, then it was easy mode because I blew through the shield and then just blew through his health. But yeah, sniper rifle plus explosion ammo absolutely nullifies all sort of combat in this game. It just doesn't even exist.
This game does my favorite video game trope ever. This is one of my favorite video game tropes where like, okay, we have this opening area that you kind of like explore and get feel for how the game
you come
plays
back
and
to
do
it.
and you come back and it's all ruined and destroyed. And if you take it at a different angle because you're climbing up the tower, like with magnetic boots or whatever. And it's so much fun.
Very cool.
It is super cool. Like, you jump right back into the Presidium. And you're just like, okay, we're in the Presidium and we're like making our way up, and it's just like, okay, this is the best. This is my favorite trope. This seriously is my favorite trope in all video games. Is going back.
It's a really good one.
Yeah, and what was so fun was whenever you were in like because this is Mass Effect 1 : elevators. So you're in an elevator one more time, but this time instead of getting the news, it's just silence as like you go up the elevator. I thought that was. Like, that was definitely intentional, and I thought really, really cool. Part of me wanted one more news briefing because I thought it'd be really funny, but then, like, I felt like, the choice not to have any sort of, like, not even any conversation between the 3 characters was really cool, and it put a lot of tension to that moment where it was like, okay, we're serious now.
Way better.
Very cool.
Way
Very
better.
cool.
Yeah.
Really well done. Yeah. That's Mass Effect 1. Congratulations, everybody.
We did it.
Should we head over to the Naga sandwich, or do we have any more last things? We have a lot more to talk about. We're talking about. Okay, Naga sandwich time.
I think we're good.
Taste my grilled cheese.
Ooh, what's the first good that I stole from you, Storm Rage?
Much, much, much. And the first good is I need to scroll down, scroll down. The lore dump on Ilos is just so well done. When we find out all about the Reapers and what happened and the Protheans, it's it's in such an engaging way, and it explains so many things so well of like this massive civilization. What happened to it? Well, now we know. Why were the Rapers so effective at doing this? Well, now we kind of know. And so being able to explain all of that in a way that is engaging, fun, and doesn't leave and it's a pretty tight narrative. Like there's not a glaring plot hole from it. That it was just it's so good. It's so good.
Could have been a DLC, I feel like. Like, just figuring out that whole storyline could have been a DLC on its own.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because it was such a cool story. It was very much a lore dump. Like, it was like, and here's everything you know about the rest of the universe. But very, very cool. And it was really, really interesting. I've got the not so good. And the not so good is good thing they fix it into. There's a lot to get fixed into, and they do fix it into. But yeah, there's some warts on this game for sure.
Yeah.
Matt, that's good.
Best good. They do fix it into. It's true. I may have like finished it up early on a Sunday afternoon and then started Mass Effect 2.
Well, I think you're allowed to do that, Matt. You're not like
I know. I'm just saying. I'm a bit ahead of a bit ahead of the podcast at this point.
Well, good for you.
Yeah. It's Mass Effect 2 is good, y'all.
He asks each traveler 3 questions. 3 questions.
3, that's a magic number.
I will ask myself 3 questions.
I'm going to get us started with the 3 questions. What did I like so far after finishing the game? It's a very fun and engaging story. The main storyline is really, really good. Like, it's a really fun and engaging story. Matt.
Same thing. Story's great. The overall narrative of like the just general history of this galaxy is phenomenal. I love it. I just like the concept of it. And just like chilling out with your crew, just talking to them, and just like I really enjoyed just hanging out in the garage, talking to Rex. Hanging out on the, in the science lab, talking to Liara. Dealing with KAIDAN. By his locker is fine. And it was just good, just getting to know like all these characters and getting to know everybody and just enjoying it. I just loved it.
Is it KAIDAN by his locker?
Yeah.
It's by his countertop. I always fixed by his counter. I'm like, why are you always by this countertop, KAIDAN? What is with you and this counter?
He likes counters, okay?
Not even a chair here, bud. Like, it makes more sense than the rest of them hanging out in the literal garage. And why do I have to go to the garage to buy stuff? Why am I going to the garage? There's a crew lounge up in the main area. Why are you all not in the crew lounge? Why are you in the garage? It doesn't matter. Storm Rage, what about you? What'd you like about the game?
I over the last couple weeks talked about how much I dislike Ashley as a character, and I kind of like got wrapped up in her character this time around, and the way that she communicates is just such an interesting take. It's a really well written character. It's a character that has flaws, but they're presented as flaws, and they're presented in a way of like, this is a human that struggles with things. And I love her quotes. I love the way that she uses poets to convey her emotions because she isn't good at communicating her emotions. And I love this scene. I love the romance scene with her. And it was just really, really good. I liked it a lot.
I would encourage you, the next time you play through the game, or if you want to like do a speedrun of the storyline, is to just kind of do what I did this time and play through without getting Liara. And then saving Ashley and getting the Ashley, like, we know everything already. Who are you to try to be the expert here? Because you will absolutely love that character afterwards. I was so happy that I saved her. I'm in the exact same boat with you. I was like, oh, this character. And by the end, I was like, nah, she's my favorite.
Yep.
What did I struggle with? By the end, I felt like nothing really mattered. I had infinite money and infinite gear. That none of the gear mattered. Nothing to do with any of the money. The character skills didn't matter. Like I said, I had sniper rifle with explosion ammo. Like the character skills didn't really matter.
Out of curiosity, what difficulty were you on?
The normal difficulty. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I might bump it up for the next game. To be honest, I thought about doing that. So I'll probably start there. And then if it's too difficult, I'll ramp it down. But I think I'll probably start at a more difficult setting.
Because I will just note that like I most of the time that I've played through this, I haven't really used any character skills. I just kind of gone guns a-blazing. On insanity difficulty. I had to use all of my cooldowns all the time. Like I was just rotating through. Whenever anything popped up, it'd be like, all right, go. Pop up, go. Singularity, go. Warp, go.
That's kind of what I wanted to do. And by the end, I was like, why am I using these skills?
Yeah, totally fair. Totally fair.
And I even felt like the relationships didn't even matter, really. I felt like the 3 character quests that you do get to go on for Rex, for Tali, and for what's his name? Garrus. They were really shallow.
They're short. They were super short.
Like
the Tali one's long just because you're going to 5 planets. But the Tali
ones, it's you can do it accidentally. I didn't know I was on her quest, and then I went and chatted with her at the end, and she was like, "Hey, thanks for getting this stuff for me." And I was like, "Oh, I would have brought you along more if I had known this was your thing." And then like with Rex and with Garrus, like they was literally just, "Hey, go kill this guy for me." Oh, thanks for doing that. And I was like, "Oh,
The Rex quest is like you go to a random bunker that looks like every other bunker you went to, and it's like, oh, you do the thing, and you don't even get like an armor for him, or an armor skin for him. You just get like,
yeah, I know, right? He's like, yeah, this armor's so bad, I'm never going to use it. And I was like, oh, well, yeah, I guess I'm glad I got you this like thing to hang on your wall.
Yeah. And then like Garrus is like, it's literally like you go to a random ship and you can decide to like. Spoiler alert for Mass Effect 1 we just finished. Like Garrus's quest is like literally like. You're going to talk Garrus into shooting the guy or talk Garrus into not shooting the guy, and you end up shooting the guy anyway. So it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, okay. There were so many of those. There were so many of those in this game where, like, you would go and you'd be like, okay, hey, let's not. How about we don't do this thing? And they're like, ha ha, I ain't going to jail, copper. And then you have to kill them anyway. And you're like, what? What's the point then? Like, we could just
exactly.
fade to black and have them like be like, like sometimes they do that, but so often there's like, I'm gonna fight you even though like you've already taken care of my 30 guards, but I'm gonna get you.
Did you listen? Did you talk to Garrus after you completed his side quest? Because I also had the same problem, but Shepard ends up with a very interesting explanation that I liked a lot for it.
I did.
Because
yeah.
Garrus is like, hey, if we were gonna kill the dude, why didn't we just kill him in the first place? Like, if that's the end result, why not just start there? And Shepard is like, we never know how they're going to react, and we always have to give them the chance. And I was like, that's pretty cool. Like, I think that from a 100%. Standpoint of the bad guy just always turning into, you're never gonna take me alive, which is a perfectly apt comparison. It's kind of a bummer, but at least like they do kind of explain like the reasoning behind still making that choice is still a good choice, and it does kind of change Garrus's perspective on those things. So like, is that a good thing? No. But at least they kind of lampshaded a bit.
Yeah.
I think that after you do Garrus's side quest, he does have the second, like, he gets the biggest character growth arc, second biggest character growth arc, I think, in the game. So the biggest is Ashley. Yes. Ashley goes from, like, hating all aliens and from just trying to, like, make up for her grandfather being a bit of a coward to, like, actually.
No, her grandfather was not a coward. Her grandfather saved a bunch of people that would have died if they didn't surrender.
Okay, that's right. Yeah, a traitor. Sorry. They basically like say, it's like, yeah, my grandfather is him and Benedict Arnold, and I was like, that's not a good thing to be compared to. So like, so I think she has like the most growth in the game, but I think Garrus probably has the second most, where he's like, I'm going to solve all problems with my blaster, to being, I'm going to solve 2/3 of the problem with my blaster. But some of them I might not, which it was actually interesting and well done. I'm not gonna lie, like it was, but I felt like the actual so much was exposition, and a lot of it wasn't like it was. Instead, it was like, okay, go kill this guy or not kill this guy, but you're gonna have to kill him anyways. And then there's exposition. But like with KAIDAN, with Rex and with Tali, there was nothing. There was no.
Yeah. All three of those are very, very set characters that don't grow at all.
Yeah, and with Rex and Tali, they're at least interesting, right? Tali has like this cool like thing where she's like a Rumspringer, and Rex is like, a former tribal leader whose grandfather like tried to kick him out of like the planet, which was both very cool storylines, right? KAIDAN like had a girlfriend.
Or trying to make me his girlfriend in my case.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I felt like with like as far as like what's the point of these characters if there's nothing really to them, right? Like,
yeah.
So that's kind of where I ended up struggling with the game a little bit, was outside of the main storyline, it was kind of empty. I felt like the game was pretty empty outside the main storyline. How about you, Matt? What do you think, Matt?
Finishing it early, like I kind of like finished it all in like one setting, and like it was pretty short, the last two quests, and I like did all the side quests after. I finished up all the side quests after we punched out Udina to get off the thing.
Citadel?
The Citadel, yes. Yeah. And then so I did all that, and then I went, it's like, okay, I'm out of things to do. Let me go to Ilos now and finish the game. And that didn't take a whole lot of time. And then, go through the it's like, so yeah, the end was pretty quick, and it's like, so I wanted more, and so I just might have played Mass Effect 2.
Yeah, sure. Why not? Storm Age?
Yeah.
My main complaint is that the last few missions are just so short that we go from kind of like chasing, end game, over. And like the very final mission I did in under 40 minutes, and I was like, oh, kind of a bummer. And I wasn't like, even on the highest difficulty, didn't slow me down that much. So I kind of just wanted a little bit more at the end, because the rest of it is so like evenly paced, and then it's just like boom, end, done.
I might be misremembering, but I don't think they fixed that in 2. I remember in 2, like the last 2 missions being like boom, boom, game over. And you're like, oh, I just finished the game by accident.
You can indeed finish the game on accident in 2, 100%.
Yeah.
If you follow along with our schedule, you won't, and it'll be fine.
I intend to do that. There is a very clear plan this time that there was last time, but I'm aware of it this time, so I will follow the plan. What surprised me about the game? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
What surprised you?
You can like almost 100% this game in well under 50 hours. Like it's a pretty, like as far as like an RPG is concerned, I feel like it's kind of on the short end, at least like compared to what I've been playing lately. I felt like it's a pretty quick game. You can blow through it and like really take it for all it's worth. Pretty in a pretty short time frame, which I'm not saying is a bad thing at all. I kind of like. So yeah, it was, short game, RPG standard wise. Matt,
the Saren battle, the fact that you can talk yourself out of it, and like I was going in like, okay, I'm going through all this geth, getting to the council chamber. I'm about to fight Saren, and then all of a sudden I say a couple things and he's not going to fight me. I was like, oh. I mean, I was expecting a fight, but this works too. So I was actually surprised I actually went ahead and let that be an option instead of having like a major like ending boss battle. I mean, you still get the boss battle at the end, but like it's not with Saren. It's with like Mecha Saren.
It's 100% Mecha Saren.
So that I found that very surprising.
Storm Rage.
Just how well the heartbreak hits, like whether it's like Saren going down, whether it's the Vermeer survivor choice, like there's some very emotional beats that I think, if not written very carefully, would fall very, very flat, and they all hit really well for me. Like I was welling up tears in my eyes at a couple of moments throughout this, and it's just the way that they navigate emotion, I think, is really good.
You're correct.
You're thinking, can I afford to buy a car like this? Huh, am I right? Seriously, Stan, you can't afford not to buy a car like this, and I'm going to make it easy on you.
All right, sell this game to a friend in one sentence or less. No explanation, please. Storm Rage.
A space opera where your decisions are significant and the heartbreak is constant.
Matt.
I'm mad I didn't play this sooner.
Me. Quick. Race across the galaxy, discover you are too late to save anyone. Okay, do it again.
Sir, that's 4 sentences.
Yeah, well, you know what? It was one line.
Let's get salty!
All right, we have a little bit of salt here. Matt, take the first one, please.
So this is from my Wisson from 220 hours on record, which is incredible.
Nice. Of the all 3 games, I bet, though.
All 3 games. Okay. Amazingly fun game, but don't let it distract you the fact that 1998, The Undertaker threw mankind off Hell in a Cell and plummeted 16 feet through an announcer's table.
It's a fact, by the way. That just popped up on like Reddit recently. I don't even know why. I'm gonna take this one here. This one is by Turboslav. Born too late to explore Earth. Born too soon to explore space. Born just in time to explore Mass Effect.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
And Storm Rage.
Rex, do you want us to arrest you? I want you to try. 13 out of 10. Based and Rex spelled?
Rex pilled.
Rex pilled.
Yeah. 100%. I love Rex.
Rex is Bay.
Game reviews. Game reviews.
Who wants to start?
I'll go first.
I think
I
think we should go Matt, then Dano, then me, because I want to end on a more positive note.
Okay.
So me, really strong entry into the universe, and one of the BioWare. And seriously, it's a BioWare classic. It's just so good. It took what we wish we could have done in KOTOR, and just improved on it. I left wanting more, and I'm glad the next game is in the same box, at least in this version. Had some issues with which date the game, but it still holds up really well. Only downside, it feels really, really short. Like you could finish it in the afternoon, mainlining the main story, and I wish the Mako was better. Like the Mako is just hard, as well as the planetary maps felt different. Like just felt more unique and different than they do. Kind of like they basically feel the same. So like in order to get that kind of feel, I downloaded No Man's Sky and Hard Space Shipbreaker just to get some of that fix of like I'm in space and doing things in a spacey world. And No Man's Sky really scratches that itch of like being on a planet and doing cool, like a unique planet and doing cool things. I'm looking forward to diving back into 2 once the podcast catches up. Once the podcast catches up to where I'm at, which would be like week 3. So
yeah, the Mako, right? So like I think by the end I figured out what they wanted you to do with the Mako. They wanted you to pull the topography and to like navigate the topography of the map, because they give it the map as a topography of the planet, and like there are like easy ways to get around sometimes, but really what it is. You're just you're Skyrim horsing your way around the planet.
Yeah,
like,
it's
can
exactly
I go up
what
this
it
vertical
is.
space? Can I go up that vertical space? Like, it's so frustrating.
Well, like, but it would also be better if the topographic map actually was a topographic map instead of like random colors. But I understand this is also on a 2000, like it was designed like on a 2006 TV, so that it might have been harder to display.
So I'll go next here. I think that this is a good game. I do not think it is a great game. I think it is 100% like saved by its sequels. I think Mass Effect 1 would kind of be a forgotten RPG to a certain extent if they didn't have Mass Effect 2 and 3, because I don't think it really would hold up well on its own, just kind of like as maybe I'm wrong, but like for me, my feelings is I probably wouldn't want to play this game if I didn't know 2 and 3 weren't waiting to play as well. I think the main storyline is really, really good and papers over a lot of flaws. But by the end, I just wanted to finish the game. I was really tired of the Mako side quests. Like really honestly tired of them. And like the Mako fetch quests, like 3 of them that they plop into your journal when you start the game. No explanation of where these things come from. No explanation of why you're doing it. And then you do it, and then they're just over. And it's like, what? Why were those even in the game? And then if you're remaking the game, why are you keeping those in the game? Like, you could have wrote those out when you remastered the game and you did the 1, 2, and 3, and nobody would have it wouldn't have hurt anything. Like, you even could have kept all the ore in there, and if you discovered the ore, you got the gold and stuff. Anyways, moving on. I was really tired of the Mako side quest by the end. And even though I had a lot of choices, I didn't feel like some of the major choices really felt good. And some of them I felt like, I don't know if that really mattered. I think combat is poor. The fetch side quests are brutal. And I accidentally romanced a character. I felt like you were kind of forced into like romancing one of the two characters, depending on who your romance options were as the man or the woman shepherd that you played. I like that I was forced into saving one of the characters, but I wish there was more gravity in that situation because I didn't really feel like I got to know either of them. It felt they were trying to force feelings, but honestly, you never really got to explore either of the characters, considering they are the only characters not to have their own story quests. Now, if you went out of your way, you could get to know Ashley. Because if you went and kept on talking to her, like they kind of like drip fed her story, but you had to keep on going down to the basement to talk to her after every mission to see if she was going to add more to her story. There wasn't really any reason to do that. KAIDAN, there was no story there. It was one time I had a girlfriend. That's his actual story. It's one time I had a girlfriend. Let's see, where am I at here? Speaking of like the character quests, they were really, really weak. 2 of the 3 you showed up and killed something, and the 3rd you didn't even know you were on the character quest until you talked that character in the end. And you could have not even known. If you just chose not to talk to Tally after you finished up the Geth quest, you would never have known that was her story quest. So like there was no information there. So
there also was no indication that the Geth quest actually exists unless you just randomly went to the Armstrong Nebula. Like unless you just randomly go there, you're not going to get the quest.
I do think if you go and talk to Tally enough, eventually she will get you on that as well. So there's 2 different ways to get on that. I think Tally will get you going eventually on that quest.
I talk to Tally constantly trying to get her quest to trigger. And I got nothing. And so I literally Googled it. I was like, oh, go to the Armstrong Nebula. I'm like, oh. And then I got the quest from the Alliance.
So yeah, so. I kind of like trauma dumped like the problems I have with this game. Now that being said, very, very, very good story. Like the main story of this game is phenomenal. And like one of the top like computer RPG storylines, I think. I think that just like everything surrounding that story, I think didn't age very well. Maybe that's the best way to put it. It didn't age as well as the story itself aged. That's my shtick. Storm Rage.
I love this game. I love this game so much. It's so beautiful, and there are many aspects that need to be improved. And the fact that this is what it is after the Legendary Edition updates, that's saying a lot about the rough edges in the first one, because there were a lot. The combat can be clunky, and the side quests range from fun and engaging to quite literally pointless. The economy is all over the place, and there are so many things that just kind of don't matter. But the parts that do matter, simply astounding. The writing is phenomenal, the narrative is delightful, and the hardship is so visceral and engaging. This is the first time I've ever played this game and met it on its own pace by slowing down, doing everything. And let me tell you, it's worth it. This game is worth your time.
If you're going to play this game, which I think you should, just ignore the journal. Pretend the journal isn't there and just do the quest. So on the quest, when you go to the journal, there's like the left-hand side is like your quests, and then the right-hand side, I think, is called your journal or something. If you pretend the right-hand side doesn't exist and you just do the main quests, you're going to have a really good time.
Mm-hmm. And maybe,
I would agree with that.
And maybe just force through like the character quest, just so you like for if any future things that might happen.
Yeah, I think that the side quests are fun to do once. I would not encourage them every time, and I would also explicitly suggest not going for the fetch quests of getting the minerals, getting the medallions. Like those are just pointless, and they do not help you in any way, shape, or form.
The hard part is that you do them by accident. So you kind of like that completionist part of you just like is like gnawing at you. Just get this done, get it done, just get it done.
Oh yeah, I don't have it either.
All right, time for our game rankings. We're going to do the same thing we've done in the past, where we're going to start at our now number 6 game, and we're going to work our way up to number 1 game. Matt and I have cut out Castlevania because Storm Rage didn't play it, and it made this all really weird and awkward. So, now, like, just to be very clear about these rankings, these are just like our rankings of the games, 6 games we've played. If we were like put this on a tier list, it'd be like, hey, we played 4 S tier games and then an A tier game and then a B tier game. These are all amazing games. And so like, even if something's at the bottom of our rankings, it's not a bad game. Like, I will be super clear about that.
Yeah, I love all of these games, and they're all really, really well done. Some of them are maybe not your cup of tea because you may not like that style of game, and that's totally fine. But every one of these games has been a delight to play.
All of 5 of these games have been a delight to play. Matt, get us started. What's your number 6?
Cult of the Lamb.
Yeah. Storm Mage, your number 6.
Also, Cult of the Lamb.
To the surprise of no one, my number 6 is Return of the Obra Dinn. Not my kind of game. Just not my kind of game.
I think if Dano could put Return of the Obra Dinn in a tier list, that might be the only F tier game that Dano ever rates.
And I fully acknowledge that it is a very good, cool, interesting game. It is not a game for me.
That's fair.
Hey, Matt, what's your number 5 game?
Return of the Obra Dinn, mainly because you just can't. It's impossible to replay, and all these games are very replayable.
Storm Age, number 5.
Darkest Dungeon. I liked it a lot. There were just some edges that didn't quite vibe with me personally, but it's still a great game.
My number 5 is going to be a little surprising, I feel like. My number 5 is Mass Effect 1. I think if I had just played the main storyline, this game would be like, it would be up there with the top games you played. But like 100%ing the game and playing through all the Mako side quests and playing through and getting like infinite, having like maxing out credits. Like I could not get any more credits. Like when I finished a quest, it would say 0 credits because I couldn't get any more credits. But then also having the best guns and armor in the game, nothing to spend it on, which then invalidated a lot of the combat in the game. It just like I played too much of it and then too many of the warts kind of shown through, I feel like. So if I had main story to only, it would be a really highly ranked, but I think playing through it completely really lowered it for me. So
totally fair.
What's your number 4 there, Matt?
Darkest Dungeon. It just didn't click with me.
Storm Age? Oh, sorry.
Yeah. No, that's all I had to say.
Hades 2, baby!
Yeah. Mine is Cult of the Lamb as my number 4. It's a good game. Everything it does is kind of good. It's good. And it's funny.
Yeah.
Nothing really great, though. Maybe great humor. Maybe the premise is funny in a great way, but everything else I feel like is just good.
Yeah.
All right, top 3. Matt, what's your 3rd favorite game?
Mass Effect 1. It was good. I enjoyed it tremendously. It's like probably like, obviously it's in the top half of games I like that we've played so far.
Storm Age, number 3.
Life is Strange. What a game. Great game.
My 3rd is Hades 2. I cannot wait for this game to fully release. Once it does, it won't stay at number 3. I'm just going to say that. But for what it is for right now with being incomplete, it's number 3.
Yep.
Number 2, Matt.
Life is Strange. Really enjoyed playing it through the second time and looking forward to maybe doing it again eventually. Maybe.
Yeah. Number 2, Storm Age.
Mass Effect. It's a phenomenal game. One of my favorite games of all time. But there are some warts on it.
My number 2 is Life is Strange. I played it 1 too many times. Apparently 4 is a sweet spot for Life is Strange. Play it 4 times, it's your favorite game of all time. Play it 5 times, it's no longer your favorite game of all time. Who knew? What's your number 1 game, Matt?
Hades 2. I just like it's already good, and it's
good.
I can't wait. But my real number 1 is Symphony of the Night because we're not allowed to put that on the list.
Matt. Storm Age, what's your number 1?
Return of the Obra Dinn. There's never been a game that has hit me quite like Return of the Obra Dinn has, and it was just such a very tight, complete narrative that kept me engaged the whole way through.
And my number one is Darkest Dungeon. I just absolutely love everything about that game. I just absolutely love it. It's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Storm Age, our lists are kind of like upside down.
I think that's so fun because I also think it's a really good indicator of like what we really like about games. Life is Strange is pretty close, Hades is pretty close, but the others are pretty opposite.
Yeah.
Because to me, the narrative is the most important thing, and that's why Cult of the Lamb and Darkest Dungeon are a little bit lower because while the mechanics are really interesting, the narrative is not as interesting to me. And I imagine that's flipped for you of like Mass Effect is a great narrative, but pretty bad mechanics in a lot of it. So I'm guessing that's just like how our differences of what we look for in a game show through.
I honestly would have not thought that about me if I was been like, oh, what kind of gamer are you? I'm like, give me a good story and I'm set. But then when I look at my games, I'm like, yeah, I actually have to want to like the game and like enjoy the play, like the style of the game. That's not who I thought I would be when I look at the type of games I play. But then, like, you know, the more I think about it, like the amount of time I put into Diablo 3 and Last Epoch and that kind of stuff. Again, no story, just all game, right? And so it's kind of fun when you kind of go through this kind of kind of like ranking system, what actually kind of shows through. It's fun. I love it.
I like
it's great.
And then there's Matt, who's doing his own thing over there.
Love it.
I just
absolutely love it. It's perfect. No notes. Next month, we are playing Mass Effect 2. We encourage you to join us for Mass Effect 2.
seriously.
Because now the game gets good.
Can I give everybody the schedule for Mass Effect 2 real quick?
Yes.
So for week number 1, so I'll just do week by like this week and the next week so you get a sense of what we're doing. So for week number 1, it's all the prologue missions. We're going to recruit the following characters: the Professor, the Archangel, the Thief. Going to go to the Normandy site and also recruit the Convict and the Warlord. In week number 2, we're going to go to the Citadel, do the Horizon mission, do Tally mission, the Justicar, the Assassin, and the Collector ship. So those are the first 2 weeks. And Dano, do you want to take this time to talk about the new direction of the show that's just the direction we've been going this whole time?
Yeah. So I was going to bring it up at the top of the show, but they ended up not doing it. So we'll definitely go over it next week for sure. But so, yeah, what we basically, we're going to brand the podcast for what it basically has become. And it's kind of weird, but I don't know. Once you think about it with us, I think it'll make sense. So what we're basically going to become is we're Squelch, the video game book club. So we're kind of like playing video games in the same way that a book club reads books, right? So we're just like, we're choosing a game a month or thereabouts. If it's a longer game, it might be a month and a half or 2 months. We'll definitely play that by ear. But like the idea is we're going to play a game a month and then we're just going to talk about it in the same way that you would talk about a book that you just read. Sometimes in a book club, someone doesn't finish the book. And sometimes in the video game club, someone doesn't finish the game. And that's okay. And there is no shame there. We do not shame in this club.
if anybody doesn't finish a game, it's most likely going to be me.
It was already me. I didn't finish Obra Dinn.
Oh, true. That's true.
We do not shame in this club. But yeah, so we're Squelch, the video game book club. We're going to try to keep it under $35. That is still the plan. None of us are going to go out. We're not playing AAA games the month they're released unless there's something that we're just like incredibly excited about. All three of us, something we have to play. Then maybe we will. But
I can't imagine that happening.
Neither can I.
Honest.
Honestly, neither can I. I can't think of a game that's anywhere close to coming out that excites me in that way.
If Life is Strange 2 didn't do it, I don't know what will.
And honestly,
the new
it
one,
didn't.
The new one, yeah. It didn't. Like the reviews are not great.
Well, yeah, I know. I'm pretty disappointed in it, to be honest. But so like so Don't Nod has a new game that they delayed because the new Life is Strange with Max came out. So maybe that one will do it. But we'll kind of have to see. But yeah, the goal is still going to be under $35, and we're just going to keep on doing what we're doing. We're going to talk about the games that we're playing and encourage people to play along with us because I'm having an absolute blast with it. I think these two guys are as well. And Yeah, we're not going to pick by, genre is not going to matter. We're just going to play games that we want to play. We're still going to vote on some games. We're still going to have that aspect to it. And then sometimes we're going to do like we're doing now, and we're just going to BioWare our way through a year. So, it's, I shrugged there. You guys couldn't see that, but there was a shrug.
I just picked up all 3 Fallouts for like $20 today. So.
And rightly so. Fallout 4 is going to have to be a game we're going to play at some point, y'all. The problem is, speaking of warts, there are some gameplay issues there. But anyways, so that's the idea. So from on, we're Squelch, the video game book club. I hope you all like it. We're really enjoying it. I haven't been so happy playing video games in a while. I hope that comes through in the podcast. I feel like for me, sitting down on my computer and playing games again is really, really, really great. And so, I guess Happy New Year to everybody. And we'll play Mass Effect 2 next month. I'm super excited about it. So thanks for coming on this journey with us. Those who have stuck through it, I think we have really found what we want to do with this podcast. Yep. And I'm really happy with it, and I hope you're all happy with it as well. So that's it for this week. Thank you all so much for listening. Thanks to all our patrons for patronizing us. Special thank you to our producers and best friends forever, Baximus and RidiculousHat. You can find links to our Discord and contact information in the pinned comment on our Patreon page over at patreon.com/squelch.
And Mass Effect's a game, and Mass Effect 2 is a lot more fun.
Yeah, sling those Mass Effect relays, baby.
This is the Energy Show. Everybody bye!
Hands down, my favorite part of this game is, what is the conduit? What is the conduit? It's literally just a conduit.
See, but that
the literal definition of a conduit is so cool. It's so great.
I love that little set piece where like they have a little countdown and you're driving towards the conduit and there's those things there and like you just like
and you wreck the Mako. You finally wreck the Mako. It was so good. I wanted to screenshot it. I was so happy.
I am curious, Matt. How much have you played of Mass Effect 2 so far?
We've got up to basically everything in week 1. I played a bunch that Sunday. So I've been holding off. I've been wanting to play more, but I've been holding off because I want to keep with the podcast. So, I might go back and review what I did for that week for when we do it next week.
How immediately were you like, oh, this game's so much better?
Immediately. Like, quite honestly, like the tutorial area.
Yep, that sounds about right.
Where you do have that weirdness, like where it's like, okay, you're loading in your character, you're doing things. I accidentally called Joker a cripple at one point because I picked the wrong option.
Jeez.
Oof.
Yeah, it was bad. I was like, maybe I start over. Maybe I might start over.
I probably would have. Which option was that?
It was like okay, spoiler alert for Mass Effect 2.
No. Actually, no. Actually, no.
We'll talk about it next week.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so I might actually restart and start over again because I don't want because like it's a real quick scene and like I
know exactly what scene you're talking about.
Yeah. So I might restart because because it's with other characters that I want to continue a relationship with. And like having that being on there is not something I want to be the game to remember. So maybe I just start over. But I like the characters are better. Okay. Spoiler for 2. The Solarian character I absolutely love.
Oh, well, maybe there's a Solarian too. Who's to say?
Yeah.
There is an achievement that I did see. There's an achievement for 1, 2, and 3 to play through the same character for 1, 2, and 3. So I will be an infiltrator for my next one because I'm gonna. That's an achievement I can't not get now that I see that.
You can change your class because things happen, right?
Anyway. Yeah, he doesn't want to though. Dano specifically wants to get that achievement. Matt. Oh, no, we'll talk about the rest of it next week. I'm so excited.
All right, everybody. Thanks so much for hanging out for this mega episode. Happy New Year, everybody. And we'll talk at you again next week.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Say goodbye. Say goodbye, everyone. with your words.
Bye. Don't stop.